You know what we hear all the time? Yeah, our system is old, but it works. And I get it. People know how to use it. The work gets done. And replacing something your business relies on is a really big decision. But here's what I've seen over the years. The system usually isn't the thing that tells you it's outdated. Your people are. They're the ones building spreadsheets because the system can't do something that they need. And they're the ones entering the same information in multiple places. They're spending hours pulling together reports that should take minutes. And eventually you have one or two people who know all the little tricks and workarounds that keep everything running. And none of that happens overnight. It kind of builds up slowly as the business changes. You add more people, more processes, customers, locations, even new technology, and the system that used to fit the business doesn't quite fit anymore. And because everyone has figured out how to work around it, you can go years without realizing how much those inefficiencies are actually costing you. So let's look at 10 ways that an outdated system could be costing your business money without even realizing it. The first is manual work. If someone's copying information from one system into another, updating spreadsheets, or entering the same data more than once, well then you're paying very talented people to do work that software should be doing for you automatically. And every manual step creates another opportunity for human error. A typo, a missed detail, a duplicate record. Individually, those things might seem small. Across an entire organization, they add up very quickly. Second, your systems don't communicate. Your ERP doesn't talk to accounting doesn't talk to your CRM, production may have its own software. Well, you know what? Pretty soon your employees become the integration between all of them. They're the ones manually moving information around just to keep everything connected. Well, that's slow and very expensive. Third is reporting. If leadership has to wait until Friday or the end of the month to understand what's happening in the business, well, then you're making decisions based on old, outdated information. And if someone is spending hours pulling that report together manually, you're also paying for the time it takes just to gather the data. You know what? Good businesses need to move fast, and your reporting should too. Number 4 is letting workarounds become normal. This is one of the biggest warning signs that I've seen. Maybe someone built a spreadsheet many years ago, and then someone else created a checklist. And another person has a reminder because the software can't handle a certain step. Well, eventually, those workarounds become the process, and then nobody questions them anymore. And that's where things can get really dangerous. Because when it's finally time to update or replace the system, a lot of those hidden processes aren't documented anywhere. Number 5 is mistakes. Manual processes almost always create more opportunity for human error. Duplicate information, missed approvals, incorrect orders, billing mistakes. Individually, they may not seem like much, but when those mistakes happen over and over again, they're costing you real money. And sometimes the cost isn't just fixing the mistake, it's the lost time, frustrated employees, or even worse, a frustrated customer. Number 6 is training. Older systems usually aren't very intuitive. Sometimes the person who's been at the company for 15 or 20 years knows exactly how everything works. They know every shortcut, every strange little step, every workaround that they have to take. But then a new employee comes in, and you realize just how complicated that process actually is. Instead of teaching someone how to do their job, you're teaching them how to navigate around all the limitations of your software. Well, that's time that you're never going to get back. Number 7, your customers feel it too. Most businesses think that software problems stay inside the company, but I'm sorry, they don't. Eventually, your customers are going to experience them too. Slower response times, longer turnaround, missed communication, delayed quotes. Maybe someone doesn't have all the information that they need when a customer calls. The customer may never know that your software is the reason. They just know that they didn't have a great experience. Number 8, you're afraid to change anything. I've met so many companies that are genuinely afraid to touch their outdated software. Everyone knows the system's outdated, but nobody wants to change anything because they aren't sure what might break. Well, that's a dangerous place to be. When your software starts limiting the decisions that your business can make instead of supporting them, it's no longer just a technology problem, it's a very major business problem. Number 9, one person knows everything. When only 1 or 2 people really understand how everything works, well, that's a really big business risk. Maybe it's an employee who's been there for 20 years. Or maybe it's the developer who originally built the system. What happens when that person leaves? Or retires? Or simply isn't available when something goes wrong? That is a lot of risk tied to one person. And finally, at number 10, growth gets more expensive. Your software should make growth easier and give your business leverage. It should allow your team to accomplish more without adding more manual processes. But outdated systems, they often do the opposite. The company grows, so you hire another person to keep up. Then another, not necessarily because the business itself requires more people, but because someone has to manage all of those inefficient processes. Well, that's backwards. The reality is, most businesses don't just have one of these problems. They have 5 or 6, or maybe even all 10. The challenge is that they've lived with these warning signs for so long that they've become totally normal. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to replace everything tomorrow, but it probably means it's time to ask a better question. So don't just ask, does our software still work? Ask, if we were building our business brand new today, would we choose to work this way? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to rethink your systems. At Onsharp, that's where those conversations start. We don't begin with technology for technology's sake. We begin by understanding how your business actually operates and where the bottlenecks are and what needs to change to support where you're going next. Because your business has evolved, your technology should evolve with it.